Hi, I'm James Shiilinglaw with Insider Travel Report. I'm here today with David Locke, who is the owner of Seize the Seas with his wife Cindy, and they just happen to be one of the top affiliate independent agencies of Avoya Travel. Now, David has been with Avoya for a number of years. We're going to find out all about it. We're going to find out how he became a success in selling travel. And this is Insider Travel Report. Now, David, first off, tell us a little bit about what you did before. How many years have you been in travel now?
We've been in travel about 15 years.
Okay, and what did you do before that?
Before that, I went from corporate job to corporate job.
Okay.
I had been teaching at FAU, Florida Atlantic University, for a while. And right before I started with Avoya, I was a business manager at an online law school.
Wow, so you didn't really have a travel background.
No travel background.
Now, what got you interested in travel?
Cindy had been working for a cruise line as a home-based reservations agent.
Okay.
And at one point in time, after a few months in 2004, they said to her, "You can't work from home anymore. You have to come in the office." And that was going to be a 60-mile commute. And Cindy said...
They weren't home-based. The whole idea of home-based didn't exist back then.
Didn't exist. Yeah. And so Cindy said, "What do I do?" And it was the cruise line, and they said the only place to go was, then it was called America's Vacation Center.
Right, and that out of the old Anderson Travel.
From Anderson Travel. They said they're the only people to see. So we went to one of the Cruise World or CLIA shows and met with Brad and Van, and were very impressed. Mm-hmm. And Cindy signed up in December of 2004. Mm-hmm. I would come home from my day job and watch her making money all evening long.
Well, that's actually, he said, go girl, right?
and I said, I want to do that. I called Brad Anderson and I said, can I do that? And at that point, they weren't taking on agents without travel experience. Right. So he said, only if Cindy trains you. Mm-hmm. And Cindy trained me. So I signed up on February 5th of 2005, mm-hmm. Working part-time, evenings and weekends. July 5th the same year, I quit my day job, and we've never looked back.
Wow. So the two of you really built that business from the ground up, right?
Nothing. From the ground up, from nothing. The real key to it was that Avoya gives us the lead program, mm-hmm. so we didn't have to prospect for new business. We just were able to focus on selling and service to our customers.
Right. Yeah. Now, I know that Avoya also sort of encourages you to specialize in certain cruise lines. How did you get the knowledge, and what was your first cruise line that you focused on?
Well, the first cruise line we focused on was where Cindy had come from, which was Oceania Cruises. Okay. And she had, as an employee, she had weeks of training from them, so she knew the product and the people cold, you know. So I learned with that, but Avoya encourages us to start out with the contemporary cruise lines, because it's a little less risky if you make a mistake. Right. The low risk lines.
So Carnival, Norwegian, and
Royal. And I started out with those leads, but worked my way up to Oceania with Cindy. And we've just been doing that, you know, ever since. And we learn the products cold before we take on a specialty. Right. And I've always encouraged all the new people at Avoya to also get to know the people at these cruise lines, because those are the people who are going to help you. Right. The business development managers, or whatever they're called in each company, and even the corporate officers, because it's who you know that really matters. It helps you make a difference.
So how long did it take you to really get up to speed with these lines? I mean, obviously Oceania, you had an in, you had to get the other ones. How long did it really get you going so you knew everybody and you could go to them?
It took a few months. Right. And the first year was always the hardest for a couple of reasons. You're booking and making and working, but the money doesn't come in until the people actually check their trip, right. Whether it's sailing or take a tour or whatever. So the first year was very tough. You're working and you're not making any money. But the second year, two things happen. The money starts coming in from what you booked last year, right. And these same people start calling you back to rebook, and you built a book of repeat business.
Because the clients that you initially booked are now your clients, right?
Right, and they come back to us. And so that was the second year was really where we took off. But like I said, after 5 months at Avoya, I quit my day job, and the two of us, and the hardest part is things like, you know, cash flow and health insurance and the things of being a starting entrepreneur. You know, you're starting your own business, self-employed. It's tough. It's hard. It's very hard. But you learn the product. You learn what you have to do. The beauty of being with Avoya is I don't have to prospect my new leads.
Right. How would you say, what percentage back then and now today of your business comes from their live leads program now?
Over 95%. Okay. And then a lot of people don't believe that, but it's true. I found that I could focus my time on learning how to build a website and prospect new business and go talk to the chambers of commerce and the Rotary clubs, and I'm not good at that. I'm great establishing.
Well, I think you'd be great at that. I don't know, dude.
I'm great at establishing rapport over the phone with the customer, engaging them and building trust and servicing them. Right. So I've outsourced my marketing and my prospecting to Avoya. Right. And there's a cost to that. There's a commission split where they get the money for their customers, the bulk of the money. But bottom line, I can make more money selling their customers when I focus on selling and servicing than if I was dividing my time with marketing and prospecting and groups management and accounting. I don't have to do any of that.
Well, I know a lot of people who look at the commission structure that Avoya, I know that was always the rub from the beginning, was that they pay roughly 30% for the business generated by live leads, and then they pay a decent 70, 80% for business that comes directly. And you said 95% of came from live leads, and so, but you've been a tremendous success even with that 30% commission.
Yes, because I can sell 3 of those leads in the time it would take me to find one of my own. Easily or more. So I can sell those leads, and the leads they give you, you don't pay for. They're free. You only pay if you sell them and you split the commission. Right. So there's no reason not to take as many as they offer you. And it's worked for us. We worked and we build our customers. We have referrals. We have repeat business, and I'm doing much better than I ever could have done if I was trying to find my next customer on my own.
Well,
if you're good at that, it's great. If people are good at prospecting, Avoya is not necessarily the place to be. Yeah. But if you're good at selling and servicing, but not prospecting and marketing, this is golden.
Now, you said in the second year things started to click. You were getting income coming in, you're getting the leads and everything else. But obviously, here we are many years later, and you are one of the top Avoya, I'm sorry, the top Avoya agent. I was trying to be agency, and which is, you are the top, and I know you've been for many years been on the top. And what was when did it really accelerate, and what was the key to that, where it really you suddenly realized that this is going to be a gold mine, pretty much?
I don't remember a specific point in time when that happened. I just know that we worked at it and built it up, and just keep your nose to the grindstone. Right. The new people coming on say, "What's your secret?" There's no secret. It's work. You service your customers. There are things we do, like when we're traveling. We travel a lot.
I know, and you and I are trade. Well, I've been friends with David for a number of years, and we always joke. He says I travel a lot, but you travel a pretty good amount too.
We get to spend about 60 days a year on cruise ships or tours. Sampling products and taking trips on our own, but we are always responsive to our clients. They don't know we're away, or if they do know we're away, we're responsive. Right. The phone rings, the email comes in, we respond.
No matter where you are.
No matter where we are. Right. And that's been our secret, is that we service our customers well. They have a question, they want to change dining times, it's either I'll get back to you when I'm home, or I'll take care of it right now. Right. And Cindy's been marvelous at that.
Well, that's probably why Cindy isn't here, because she's down servicing clients. You're talking to me up in the lounge.
She's servicing clients right now. In fact, she was trying to book somebody an insurance policy for a hotel that she didn't even book for the client. But he wanted to buy insurance, and so she's working and doing that for him right now. And that's what we do. Yeah. We just do what we have to do. And there's no surprise, there's no secret, there's no secret sauce. It's working the leads that Avoya provides, calling them, emailing them, servicing them, finding the best deals for them, and doing whatever we can. Someone recently asked me, don't you need an assistant to send birthday cards out? And I got so angry. Because no, we don't send birthday cards to our clients, because if I ever got a birthday card from someone selling me something, I would throw it away anyway. And what we do is we provide good service, and so they call us back for that. We're professionals. And we don't do that. we just do the work, and that's what it is. And we love, and of course we're passionate.
Well, you love, you discovered, I guess, obviously a love of cruising, and you had that, right?
Yeah, we love cruising. I went on my first cruise not too long before we started the business, and I fell in love with it.
Was that Oceania? Did you go?
Actually, it was a Princess cruise. My in-laws took us on, and I looked at Cindy and I said, I want to do this forever. And that's when she got into travel right after that.
Okay.
And we've never looked back. We love the business. The industry is full of wonderful people, wonderful opportunities. We've traveled more than I could ever imagine. Yeah. And when people say you live in South Florida, are you retired? And I said, I feel like I'm retired. I work 60 hours a week, but then we travel 60 days a year, and I work in my pajamas if I have to. And
or in your cruise ship suite, right?
Or my cruise ship suite, and we work hard. We work long hours. We don't always work long hours, but we're available all the time, and that's a big difference. And then we get to take these marvelous trips.
Yeah. You have to go. You got to test out the product,
the destination, and we've met wonderful, wonderful people around the world, and in the cruise lines and at the tour companies. And we're just having a blast.
No, I mean, why not? Well, you see, why you said, are you retired? Well, you would retire to go traveling, right?
Well, I would, but I couldn't afford to do what we do now.
That's true.
What we're doing now is part of the business, and I don't feel the need to ever stop doing this.
Yeah. You don't have to.
As long as Avoya is, providing us the leads and everything else they do for us, all the background work, the back office work, we'll be doing this forever.
Now, so you built up the business, and you obviously went beyond the contemporary cruise lines, and now you sell. Do you sell almost all the cruise lines now?
No, I mean, I will. If someone wants something and they ask for it, I will do the work and learn it and sell it. Right. But we can choose what leads we want to get from Avoya. So I choose the ones that I want to sell, and it's not just that I like them; it's what I'm good at. Right. You got to be careful. But we can also change it up every once in a while. So, for example, I sell Oceania cruises. But if one day there were no Oceania leads available, I call up and say, what do you got? Mm-hmm. And they say, oh, try Celebrity. Oh, we have plenty of Celebrity leads today. And I put Celebrity on my list. Right. And I take a few Celebrity leads, then I say, okay, turn that off, put something else on. But for the most part, we try to work with the luxury lines. Mm-hmm. Oceania, Regent, Crystal, Silversea, Seabourn.
Which have, obviously big cruise fares and big commissions, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You go where the money is. Yeah. And we're also very comfortable in that market. And that's what we've been successful at. Right.
Now, have you? I know obviously there's been a new focus at Avoya on land vacations in terms of all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours. Have you sort of ventured into that a little bit?
No. We thought about it. We talked about it, Cindy and I, and we said maybe one of us should do it. And it's just diversifying a bit too much for us at this time. We are very, very busy. It's $6 million a year with the business we have and what we know well. And for us, it would dilute our efforts if we did that. Right. But I'm glad that Avoya is doing it. And, if there's an occasion where I need to know that, I will.
Well, it's interesting because I always, and everyone always thinks, Avoya is all cruise. I've met some Avoya agencies here, independent agencies. I said, so you must be selling cruise? And they said, no, I only sell land vacations.
That's true. I know people at Avoya who just sell Amtrak vacations or just sell Red Carnation hotels. And everybody can find their niche. They can do whatever they want. There are no two agencies that are alike. Everybody runs their business differently. Everybody runs their specialties differently. And everybody's successful. It's an amazing situation.
No, and you've been ultra successful, obviously. Now, for the future, I mean, what do you, I mean, you're going to do the same thing that you're doing now and just keep on building the business? I mean, $6 million is quite a lot, and you either, I mean, you go more than that, you might have to take on more people. But do you have any goals or any aspirations about what you're going to do with the business?
I'm trying to stay on top of where the future is. Someone this morning was talking about the boomers, retiring now. And the Generation Y or the millennials coming next. I'm focusing on people that I relate to, which is the boomers who are retiring about now. And they have the money, they have the time, and they love to travel. So I'm looking into what else I can offer them when they've been to the Mediterranean and the Baltic and South America, and they've done all the cruising they want to do. They don't want to. A lot of the companies are building the new expedition ships.
Yeah, I know. I think we talked about this. You like that category.
I
right?
love that category. It's a very small niche market, though.
Yeah, so far, yeah. Well, for all the activity lately, I mean, they all could fit in. We're actually on Navigator of the Seas, and they could probably all fit into this ship. Right?
They could, and the market for people who are going to pay the price for those, paying over $1,200, dollars per person per day, is a very small market. Yeah. So I don't know how much I want to venture into it, but it's interesting to me. It's an interesting area of growth.
So you think that's a possibility?
Yeah.
What have you sold much river cruising?
Yeah, we sell a lot of river cruising. Cindy and I both, and we have our favorite lines, the higher end lines. But the customers are happy. If a customer says, "I just took a Viking river cruise and I want to take another one," we're not going to talk them out of it. There's Viking, there's Uniworld, Amber Waterways, Scenic, Crystal, Tauk.
There's a lot of higher end. Yeah,
there's a lot of higher end lines. And we just try to find the best product that fits the client.
Right.
And that's really what it's listening. A lot of it's listening.
Do you find that your clients go back to the same lines, or they want a different experience, whether that's shifting from ocean cruising to river or now expedition cruising, or they just want to keep going back to the same?
It depends what they're looking for. A lot of times, most of them stay in the same silo. But for example, I had an Oceania client who took a Silver Sea Galapagos tour, because Oceania doesn't go to Galapagos. Loved it, brought his grandchildren along. Then the next thing he did was take his grandchildren on a contemporary line and said, "Please, never let me do that again."
Well, that's the problem. Once you go back, and it's great, obviously, when you have kids, and it's a better product for them. But but on the premium and the luxury side, it's a little more problematic unless your kids are pretty sophisticated.
Well, it's just that it's hard bringing kids on. I mean, we had people complain because there was a 14-year-old child on a river cruise once. How do you complain about that? But some people.
Considering now we have river cruising that's geared to families too.
Right,
so
and now we do. But you just have to listen to your client. You really have to listen carefully to find what's important to them, what they liked about their last trip, what they didn't like, and then we can direct them to the proper product. Right. And that's just sales. That's nothing to do with, it's not rocket science. Absolutely. It's just sales.
Right. Yeah. Now, let's close out by sort of summarize the keys to your success in terms of what you really felt, how you made it, if you could. I know we talked a lot about it, but
I hope you can tell that I'm really passionate about.
No, I have no idea. It was a mystery, and I watched your Facebook, and I could never tell you where you are. So
they tell you that when you first start learning sales on the phone that the people can hear a smile in your voice,
right.
And I try to not even hide my passion for the business. Everybody knows that I'm thrilled with Avoya Travel. Everybody knows that I love the cruise lines that I sell, that I direct people to. I've been on them, so I know what to explain. I've been to the destinations, so I can recommend a restaurant or a hotel or a driver. And that's really important to people, is knowing something. Or knowing where to find or who to ask to get that information. But it's really learning how to listen to the clients, figure out what's going to be best for them, sometimes contradicting them, but usually not. Sometimes offering an upgrade, sometimes offering advice, and we always recommend insurance for people who are traveling. Nowadays, you have to have insurance. Okay. And Cindy, I learned from Cindy, just listen and talk and engage. And it's difficult establishing a rapport with somebody who's going to spend $10,000 or $20,000 when you've never met them face to face, and you're asking for their credit card for $20,000.
So how many of the clients, actually, that brings a point, how many do you ever meet face to face?
Hardly any.
Really?
We try to meet some clients if they're boarding a ship near us in Miami or Fort Lauderdale. We take them to lunch. That's happened maybe half a dozen times. Once in a while, we're on the same ship as a client. Right. One time we were on a ship, and we heard an announcement, cold blue in the men's room, and we said, uh-oh, somebody fell and hurt themselves in the men's room. Then I hear, would Miss McConnell please come to the front desk? And I go, oh, crap, that's my client.
So you were new already.
And we hadn't even told them we were on the ship yet.
Oh, my God.
We hadn't introduced ourselves. So I went to the front desk. I said, they have insurance. And they said, oh, it's all taken care of. They're on the way to the hospital. Everything's fine. Well, 2 days later, they returned to the ship. This was in Greece, on the island of Lesbos.
Right.
And I recognized him when he came back. I hadn't met him yet, but he had a big bandage on his forehead.
He must have been him, right?
So I said, you must be Ray. And he said, yeah. He said, I'm David. I'm your travel agent. You came here just because I fell? And I said, no, I've been on the ship. I just didn't have a chance to introduce myself before you fell. And he said to me two things. He said, we're your clients for life. And if anybody ever doubts they should buy travel insurance, have them call me.
Oh, wow.
But he had a great attitude. He said they could have gone home. The insurance would have paid for their early trip home, trip interruption. But he said, no, we're going to continue the trip, and we're going to have a great time. And they had a great attitude.
And then you knew him. Then you could see him.
And then we know him. But we very rarely do meet our clients. I've had clients we've booked 10, 20 times over the past years, have never met face-to-face.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, David, it's a great story, great ongoing story. I thank you. I mean, we've known each other for quite some time, but I never actually heard this directly from you. So it's great to know how it all works and how. Well, do you work actually? I'm not even sure about this. You work. I know you do. I know you do.
What's funny? It's when I could tell the new people joining. I said, we know we don't work 60 hours a week, but we're available 24 hours a day.
Right.
And we work full days and full evenings and full weekends, but it's not all the time. It's not constant, but we're always available. If we're in the supermarket and the phone rings, the phones always get forwarded to our cell phones, and we answer the phone no matter where we are.
So and 24/7?
24/7. And that's how you build your client base. You can't. They found us on the internet. Avoya is an internet-based advertising company. If they found us on the internet, they'll find somebody else if we're not responsive.
Right.
And we're very much aware of that. And they can find somebody else as easily as they found me.
Amazing
so
story.
We don't do that. We don't let it happen.
Well, I'll let you go because I know you got to go replace Cindy and do a little work. And then send Cindy up here. We'll do an interview with you, and then we'll match the answers and see if we're right, okay? It's kind of like the newlywed game, right?
Newlywed game, yeah.
But it's a wonderful story. I've known about your success for quite some time, but it's great to get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Let me add one thing. Okay. That of the $6 million a year we do, Cindy does about 4 and I do about 2. So
she's really working hard.
And I've been in it only 2 months less than her, so she's doing something I don't even do. And she's
maybe next time we'll interview her. Maybe she's got the keys to success. Absolutely. Right. David, again, great to see you. Great to spend some time with you on board at the Avoya Travel Conference, is where we are, Navigator of the Seas. And I'm sure I'll see you either online on Facebook or somewhere else in the world very soon.
Always a pleasure.
I'm James Shiilinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.